Bro, Blue Lock Rivals has a serious hitbox problem. And I'm not talking about one random situation. That happens once every 100 games. I'm talking about something that can happen multiple times in the same match. The hitboxes in this game are just inconsistent. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons I don't enjoy playing this game as much as I used to, because there are situations where you genuinely don't know how the ball got to somebody. You can be right in front of the ball. Somebody can literally be running behind you, and somehow they get the ball before you do. Like, bro, how? I'm standing right here. The ball is right in front of me. This dude is behind me. And somehow the game decides that his foot has priority over mine. And the crazy part is, this isn't even the worst example. One of the weirdest things is when you're dribbling close to somebody. You could have the ball under control. You're moving normally, and then you get close to the opponent. And suddenly, the ball just attaches to them. Like what? There wasn't some crazy steal animation. There wasn't some perfectly timed tackle. The ball just decided it belongs to them now. And that's what makes these situations so frustrating. Because when you get tackled normally, cool. You know what happened. You made a bad play. Maybe you held the ball too long. Maybe you got too close. Maybe the opponent read you. That's fine. That's soccer. But when the ball just snaps towards somebody because their hitbox happened to catch it, what am I supposed to learn from that? Because now I don't know if I actually got outplayed or if the game just gave the other player possession. And I'm not saying this happens every single possession. It doesn't. That's the important part. The hitboxes aren't consistently broken. They're inconsistent. And honestly, that's worse in some ways. Because you never know when the game is going to do some bullshit. And then we get to fast dribbling. This is probably one of the biggest things that annoys me. Because you'd think if somebody is moving fast with the ball, you'd be able to create some distance. You'd think you could actually use your speed to get away from a defender. But sometimes, all somebody has to do is get extremely close to you and just keep kicking. That's it. Just stay close enough. Keep pressing whatever they need to press. And eventually the ball is getting touched. And that's crazy to me. Because what's the point of having fast dribbling if somebody can just glue themselves to you and spam interactions until the hitbox catches the ball? You can't really create space. You can't reliably get around somebody. And sometimes you can make the exact same move multiple times and get completely different results. One time you get past them, next time the ball gets stolen from behind you. Then another time you barely touch them and somehow they get possession. That's what I mean by inconsistent. And honestly, the only dribbling that feels somewhat reliable sometimes is air dribbling. Because at least when the ball is in the air, you're not dealing with the ground hitbox as much. You can actually move the ball around somebody. You can create some separation. You can make plays. But here's the problem. If the solution to the game's ground dribbling is basically, just don't let the ball touch the ground, then bro, I don't want to play like that. I'm not trying to spend an entire soccer game juggling the ball because the ground interaction is inconsistent. That's not fun to me. And even air dribbling isn't completely safe. Because sometimes you can air dribble, the ball comes down, and before the ball even properly touches the ground, somebody underneath it gets possession. Like, huh? The ball didn't even look like it touched them. Sometimes it doesn't even look like it touched the ground. And somehow, possession. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. Now before somebody says, bro, you're exaggerating. No, I'm not saying this happens every single game. I'm not saying every possession is broken. I'm not saying you can't have fun playing Blue Lock Rivals. Because obviously you can. People still play the game for a reason. When everything actually works. The game can be fun as hell. Making a good play, beating somebody, setting up your teammate, scoring a goal. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that the fundamentals aren't reliable enough. And from my experience, you could play 5 matches, and in about 3 of those matches, you're probably gonna run into some bullshit like this. Maybe it's somebody getting the ball from behind you. Maybe it's the ball attaching to somebody. Maybe it's somebody constantly kicking at your feet. Maybe it's an air dribble getting stolen before the ball even properly lands. Whatever it is, you eventually run into it. And when you're playing a competitive game, consistency matters. And this is where I think people need to be more honest about the game. Because whenever somebody brings up these problems, there's always somebody saying, skill issue, just get better, just use this style, just learn how to dribble. Bro, I'm not talking about somebody beating me. I'm talking about the actual interaction with the ball. Those are two completely different things. If somebody reads my dribble and takes the ball, respect. If somebody predicts my pass and intercepts it, that's soccer. If somebody positions themselves perfectly and steals from me, cool. But if I'm standing in front of the ball and somebody behind me gets it first, that's not me needing to learn a new skill. That's something with the game's detection. And people can ignore that all they want. But the player count tells its own story. And honestly, the foundation of this game is so bad that it doesn't matter what you keep adding to it. You can add new styles, crazy abilities, amazing animations, whatever you want. But if the foundation is weak, none of that matters. It's like making a building look beautiful while the foundation underneath is weak and falling apart. Eventually, that building is going to come down. And that's how I feel about Blue Lock Rivals. But this isn't even the worst part, because now the hitbox problems are getting into the abilities too. You can press an evasive ability or a movement ability and still get the ball taken from you. And I'm not even talking about another ability countering you. I'm talking about somebody just tackling you normally. Like, bro, what was the ability supposed to do then? And sometimes the abilities don't even activate when you press them. So now the problem isn't just the ball. It's starting to affect the abilities too. And I already know what somebody's gonna say. The hitboxes have always been bad. Yes, I know. I was here when Blue Lock Rivals first came out. The hitboxes were bad back then too. But that's exactly why I'm talking about it. Because it feels like they've only gotten worse. The problem isn't disappearing. It feels like it's spreading. And I'm not saying the game isn't fun when none of this happens. It absolutely is. You can have a great match, make some crazy plays, and genuinely enjoy yourself. But that's what makes it frustrating. Because you never know when one of these problems is gonna happen. You could be having the best game. Everything is going perfectly. Then suddenly the ball gets taken from some stupid angle. Your ability doesn't activate. Or somebody gets possession when they shouldn't. And now you're sitting there wondering what just happened. That's why the game feels like an invisible, repetitive ticking time bomb. I don't want to play a game where I'm constantly waiting for something to piss me off. I don't like crashing out over games. I want to have fun, make good plays, and get off. And that's why I'm saying all of this. I've been here since the beginning, and I genuinely want this game to get better. Because you can't keep decorating a building while ignoring the foundation. Eventually, the foundation is all that matters. I've been here from the start. I'm not saying that for credit. I just want this game to improve. I don't want people coming back only for updates, getting a new style, then leaving again. I want people to actually enjoy playing the game. Because I've seen what Blue Lock Rivals can be. And watching it go in this direction is honestly sad.